All right, Pisces, we are going to get started with your reading. Just a little bit late, but I am here. And I thank all of you guys for joining in today to your morning reading. Stay tuned for the late night. Okay. And we do have one this afternoon. I'll be posting the thumbnail and the link so you can hit the notification bells. For those of you that are new, subscribe. If it resonates, hit the like button. If it doesn't resonate, hit the like button. Support your fellow readers. Okay. If you're not booking readings or purchasing products, that's a free way to say thanks for trying. Okay. Keep us here so they can stop leaving and getting jobs and trying to get record deals and read cards for y'all. Support them, especially Pisces, because everybody's saying Pisces is the broken sign. I'm a Pisces and I am offended by that. But I have, since I returned, just ran into the most confused, negligent, odd individuals, and that is not cute. And I'm going to say it. I'm a very sweet person, and I'll give you the shirt off my back. But just adults that are just so confused and oh my god, I didn't see it, I don't know, I hit but are the prime investigators, right? I was talking about they investigating and the spirit chose them and they enlightened ones, but can't handle business to save their lives. That's not cute, and y'all grown. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I pulled out some oracle cards for you, babes, and you have the first card reads, which is beautiful because I have to turn them in a circle to read them. It's great. Um, where does it start? Okay. Uh, it says warm and vitalizing. A carnelian soul jewel nourishes my courage to embrace my life journey with joy and faith. And I definitely love that. I happen to have some carnelian, so I was like, I'm gonna sit it out and play with it a bit. So that's the first card. Let me move this mic. Your second card, which I thought was absolutely adorable, is connected to the soul star. So it says, I seek truth, wisdom, and heart aligned helpfulness in every blessing I choose to cultivate. And I think this one was the soul star, not the soul star. I set it to the side for myself. It says, with perfect love and perfect trust, I open to the unlimited blessings of the universe for the spiritual benefit of all beings, which I do, which is why I'm here and I go so hard. And some of my channels aren't even monetized. I just actually like what I do and have been appointed. Okay. So some of your crystals, I love these. All right. I like to spoil you guys. One is cat's eye, which talks about agility, intuition, and protection. All right. Evoking the bright eyes of a cat. Cat's eye is used as a talisman to ward off and protect against any evil or unforeseen danger coming your way. So keep that in mind because we will be talking about karmic relationships over here in your oracle cards. It talks about, again, increased agility, allowing you to fly beneath the radar of your enemies and progress ahead of your competitors. And I love that. Okay. Cat's eye enhances night vision, giving you the ability to see through the shadows, hint, hint, hello, in higher definition and access heightened levels of intuition by opening the crown chakra. Cat's eye is regenerative, helping you to regain what was once lost. Leo, Venus energy, and that's beautiful. I love Leo and Venus together in a sentence. The next one you have is pyrite. Okay, so be mindful of the fool's gold. It talks about luck, prosperity, and success. The gold standard when it comes to crystals. Pyrite attracts abundance, wealth, and prosperity, known as fool's gold. Pyrite encourages you to follow your dreams and envision your desires. Manifesting powers are high when this crystal is at play. Pyrite has the spark, literally. Pyrite can create fire when struck against another stone or metal, as is believed to contain the element of fire in its core. So I absolutely love that. Like a metal that actually has the core of the element fire in its belly. Now, I have the angel answer cards, which a lot of you love. I'm going to pull these at the end of the video. So go ahead and set your intentions for 3 questions, or you can just choose a number 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll pull these momentarily. I also have your charms and your astro cards. So we will go with the charms first. And for some reason, when I do this, I always pull out 4. I got a cute little bowl for them, but I don't like clutter, so I wasn't pulling out no big ass bowl. So we're going to shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, and shake them. And see what you got. Well, it's a little more than 4. The carrot went back. Okay, so you have a mask or a mustache, a wing, a bullet. Okay. Ooh, a music note. And a mermaid with a peacock and a crown. Okay. So the peacock, it does talk about distractions at times. So be mindful of that. With the mask, I feel like the distraction could be the false person. With our mermaid, it could talk about the siren, also a distraction that is a catalyst that leads you somewhere that could be favorable. Like most sirens do that. Now, even though mermaids are connected to my water signs, just keep in mind, and we'll see how that goes. We have this, which could represent protection from those energy vampires. You got a silver bullet, which is insane. And maybe some of your protection may come by way of a guide or angel or something above. So I think that that's absolutely dope. And the music note and the crown is so cute for those of my artists that are creatives. Maybe this is just a sign or a synchronicity for you. Sirens do sing too. So just be mindful if there's a false person in your environment, kind of like telling you what you want to hear. It could be a distraction, and your guides are here trying to protect you from that, because crowns talk about completion and accomplishment. And so you're trying to get to the 10, you're trying to get to the court card, to not stay, in the day-to-day suit, or, just be stuck at the page level. As far as the transits, you have literally the transit card came out for you. And then it says insight, movement, and change. So you could expect that in the near future. You also have lunar eclipse, which is a culmination, release, and illumination. So it's like a culmination of things could happen to be brought to the surface for you to release. And some things may be illuminated, or just removing some dead weight could illuminate you, right? To let you shine brighter with all that dust off of you. Okay. I love that. So let's get to the bread and butter. All right. Not trying to rush y'all, but I already came up in here late. So they're a mess. So the situation, you have surrender to sweetness, and then you have Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. All right. What I thought about, because the fall into my arms came next, they are killing me. I don't know what they're doing. I thought that this was super sweet. So look how it's a lady and a man, if you could see that, in this pool of oasis of love. Okay. And then the next card that came out, it just says surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. The opposites are connected to the lovers, and sometimes the chariot, and there's a few other cards. So this could be actual intimate relationships, because karmic relationships don't have to be intimate, as in like sexual. Some of them could be soulmates, relatives, co-workers, just people that you have experiences with in this life. So surrender to sweetness and fall into my arms came out first. That could be their approach. That could be the sweet serenade that you hear from them. But it talks about, okay, for some of you, this is definitely a sensual relationship, because I'm looking here in the guidebook. So with this particular card, it says that this is sensual. It's highly feminine, this card. It's a call to surrender to the sweetness of life, to let the ever-abundant feminine take over, to taste the fruits you've been working so hard to grow. Let your senses take over and really drink in your life with wonder, to get intoxicated on the simple bounty that this planet has to offer, and which you have within you when your well is full. So the ancient Babylonians connected the feminine goddess Ishtar to the planet Venus in a Roman mythology. Venus was the goddess of love and beauty. So in our night sky, aside from the moon, Venus shines the brightest. So it could be where Venus falls in your chart, because we did talk about transit. So just keep that in mind, or something that Venus is doing for us. Jesus. Trust in our most precious resources and is the great healer. If you've been all work and no play, this is a sign to take some time out to reconnect with your lover, play with your children, and give yourself the luxury of time without an agenda. Many of us are so busy building our lives that we forget to enjoy them. We forget why we decided to build them in the first place. So it asks us to disconnect from this sweetness. It says disconnection from this sweetness, sorry about that, causes more pain than we realize. So many of us walk into soulless buildings 5 days a week in the name of survival. We strive to build the life of our dreams, but drive ourselves to exhaustion. So this card is wooing you back to the pleasures of being human, to focus on what really matters and enjoying your incredible life. So what I love about that is Venus can sometimes give us that energy. Venus sometimes gives us, in the transits, you'll notice more than likely you're in a mood to do that, or strongly encouraged to do that, or you'll just see it being, favorable in the environment where things may have a little bit more cushion, or you'll have a little bit more of a nudge to indulge in self-care, or loved ones and family, or you may notice that they're more attracted to you at that time. Now, what crosses surrender to sweetness was fall into my arms. And the first word on this card, as far as the clarification, is surrender. So for some of us, it's definitely about letting go, or as it stated, surrendering, and holding the opposites. So this could talk about, you know, men to woman intimate relationships, doesn't have to, but we have the great mother ushered you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life can be, that being human can be lonely and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be excruciating when your soul remembers the oneness of source. So for my star seeds, for sometimes just feeling like you don't belong, or looking for your place in the world, just having this inner feeling of void, this is falling to my arms, and it's more of an interpersonal connection between you and source. So often we see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean we're being rewarded. And when things go bad, perhaps we've done something wrong. However, we're all here to expand and grow, and it's through the extremes of life that we do that exactly. You're being invited to welcome the highs and the lows of the human experience, to let them initiate you more fully into life. The agony and the ecstasy, the beauty and the bitterness. This life is but a single breath in the extinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. The Great Mother wants you to hand over your loneliness, worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, burdens, and doubts, to lay them on her altar, to fall fully into her arms, to remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. The more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more truthfully you can say, I have lived. Okay, so, okay, I feel ya. The focus, all paths lead to home. So some of us may be focused on that. I feel you. Let me try to make sure I do this right. Okay, so this one, I want to do this correctly. Maybe I should just lay them all out, because that one was last. Okay, sorry about that. Because I shuffled them. Okay, wait, flip them over. I shuffled them and had to clean the table off. So there we go. I want to do them correctly as they came out. And then we can go from there. Okay. So don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. All right. So the next in your focus, you have water your garden. It talks about nourishment, body care, and tenderness. So for some of us, this is about self-care, and dealing with and coming out of karmic relationships. And karmic relationships could be with you and a person, you and finances, you and whatever the case may be. So watering your garden is the focus, what you're actually focused on, or what you're being encouraged to focus on. In this particular card, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Earth is a seasonal planet, and as such, you're a seasonal being, which is cyclical. So we're talking about transits again and cycles. You can't be on and in full bloom month after month, day after day after day. You're strongly being called to put on breaks, rest, refuel, take a moment to restock and replenish, and slow right on down. Your body is the only body you're given, and it needs to be respected as such. You're being called to take responsibility for your well being. And it also says to put your health and body first. I know it can feel like time is running out and as if there are urgent things that simply can't wait. However, if you keep pushing on, soon fatigue will set in. The way of living isn't suitable. So all of these cards so far in the situation, what's crossing it and the focus, just really pinpoints you a perspective and a behavior and how like nourishing your body or just surrendering to have some sweetness instead of like the everyday mundane busy typical reality. So that's like been something consistent here. It also asks, how are you being called to put on the brakes, right? To slow down a little bit, to rest and restore and rejuvenate. When was the last time you took a holiday or had a full weekend day or an afternoon off? Look at your precious body and mind. Give yourself enough time to recover when you find yourself running on your reserves. Now, in the recent past, you have Cosmic Heart. Cosmic Heart is devotion, potency, and make your life a moving prayer. So I love that. I love the Cosmic Heart. There may be some things that you have been trying to manifest, and for some of you, actually praying for. And we'll see what the update is on that. But just like the situation and what's crossing it, the Cosmic Heart asks us when you surrender, or tells us when you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. So here again, we have surrendering. And it seems like the devotion is to your well being. For others of you, it could be to a goal or a manifestation, but you're being called to refocus your attention deep within. So instead of the busyness of the everyday domestic matters, work, life, traffic, all that good stuff, for some of us, you're being encouraged to go within. You're being called to refocus your attention, to bow with a deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing this has gotten a little watered down or weak. So there could be something that is like not giving what it was supposed to give. And I can second that. It's just dealing with the people in the environment. So it goes like that sometimes. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seed and sing, because we have the music note. So plant your soul's seed and sing to them with deep devotion. That's super dope. To feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what is, what most expands your heart. I love that. To live your life according to what makes you come alive. So it's like, fuck all the other shit. And that's what's cool. Now, the strength of the matter, what's crowning you, we have Earth School. So because of this, and I'll show it to you. So it's like, what? Get to the shit. Calm down. That's what's wrong with you. In the near future, you have karmic relationships. And it looks like you're coming from... That is silly. Hello? Hold on. Okay. It looks like they're coming from, different planets, alternate dimensions, parallel universes, whatever the case may be. These may be the opposites that the previous card was referring to in the fall into my arms. And it is crossing karmic relationships. Fall into my arms is crossing that. Now, it talks about Orion. So those of you that are familiar with the different collectives, if I have some star seeds in the building, Orion, is that it? Is this Orion or Orion? I think it's Orion. Energy. It talks about polarity, soul growth, and sometimes conflict. So just be mindful of that. And we'll take some clarifiers. I don't mind. But getting back to the strength of the matter, the Earth School. It talks about life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. It gives like the page of Swords energy. So it does definitely talk about some incoming messages, incoming messages. Did I say that right? Messages? Yeah. Some messengers, okay, some students. It also talks about if any of us are feeling like insecure, naive, or not ready, just connecting with your soul tribe, giving you that comfort, filling voids that could help you be more productive. Okay, nothing is wrong with that. So when we talk about the Earth School, okay, and why is it crowning you, or why is it the strength of the matter? It asks you, how are you being called to grow and learn? So there could be some soulmate situations or some karmic situations in the near future that are going to help you grow. Now I'm gonna give you a secret. If you were doing what it took to heighten your intuition, which is opening the crown chakra, opening the heart, right? You probably wouldn't need a catalyst or a siren, right? Or any of those things to help you grow in some areas, to help you unlock an aspect or change your perspective or learn something that could be hindering you from something else that you want. You do know that, right? Like you wouldn't have to go through that if you made different choices. But sometimes when we aren't aware, don't make different choices, and then we still have a journey to complete, or we're sending mixed messages to the universe saying, I am this person, I want to manifest that, and you ain't that person, and you're not about to manifest that. Sometimes a catalyst or an event could come into your life to help you become that person so you could manifest that. And so if you feel doom and gloom when people talk about karmic relationships and oh, a challenge is coming up, it ain't because somebody trying to manifest that into your life. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's because you that's what it takes to get through to you. So if it didn't take all that to get through to you, you wouldn't have to go through it, right? So it's kind of like I've always said, I guess, to not seem finger pointy, it is subjective, but my personal opinion that karma is self-inflicted. Karma just pulls from the subconscious guilt, shame, fear, the real shit in the back of your mind that is stronger than the bullshit that comes out of your mouth. That is karma. So when you do things and in the back of your mind, you second guess it, you feel it's wrong, you stumble for a moment, you're not fully in the moment of making reason for it, then you attract it because it's sitting there, culminating over time for whatever transit to come up and handle it. And then once the situation is activated, you either learn that lesson from the situation or you have a pattern where you're stuck in a cycle of that situation, all because of your subconscious mind that's communicating with the universe. So if you didn't know that, there is some news you could use. Okay, hit the like button if you appreciate that tip. If not, don't block me. Okay, I'm just a messenger. But the Earth School asks that, or tells you that, oh my God. Hold on. Okay. The Earth School says that if you pull this card, if you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. I think I just said that, but this says it like nicer. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities. I'm going to bring her in here. So maybe if we spend some time with this little baby, she'll stop barking. Try not to look at the difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the high and lows, your soul is most definitely growing, in which is the whole point. So pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new era of study or growth. So I know you gave that page of swords energy. If you're having difficulties in a relationship, you're being reminded that these are opportunities for soul growth. After all, relationships are known as the number one way to grow as souls while we're here on earth. So check that out. Now, I would love in a higher light for some of us that are doing the work, that have been giving it our time to do the self-love and all that, that you have manifested a karmic partner that's your dharma, which is like the soul partners, the practical partners, the committed lovers, the ideal partners that came up in your love reading last night. So if you didn't see that, go click on it and talk a little bit about it. Okay. Now, in the near future, dun 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 dun, what most people have come to this reading for, and I'm gonna try to like not be so long winded, so I could do some clarifiers because now I want to be nosy. But the karmic relationship is what is in the near future, and that is excuse me, that is interesting. All right, so karmic relationships, the constellation Orion. I don't think this is Orion. I think Orion is spelled different, isn't it? Is it Orion? I don't care. It's thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventually unity. Some believe that many starseeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnated on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from that old time. Wow. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarities cause conflict and highlight separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings caused when we don't open our hearts and minds and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second guessing mode, I said that. Instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we have reacted because of our own woundings and find mutual ground. So it's like there could be an opportunity to avoid a misunderstanding by coming to a common ground. And I do that. And because I just want to say this for the people that do it. I do this, and people will steal 3 days in a row, okay, or just be brain farted. Or some of you guys talk about like narcissists and stuff like that. So it's like trying to get an understanding and trying to be patient and being the person seeing it from a different perspective. Just be mindful to try that. I'm not saying that you'll always be successful in it, nor is this card, but it just says that instead of, confrontation or second guessing yourself, just to be open, to be confident, the crown chakra, the heart chakra, in a healthy space to try and find solutions. Okay. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. So I know some of you may have experienced, because I have, this young lady when I was in junior high. We, I think we first started out like, I don't know if we didn't like each other or excuse me, or we had like a fight with each other, but we ended up being like the best friends. And I think it's kind of toxic. That could be a karmic relationship. But I've heard adults say that like, I can't fully trust you or be cool with you unless we get into it. But the people that I heard that from were kind of like undereducated degenerates in the dark web. So I don't know how much advice I'm going to take from them, but that's karmic. See, it's some toxic people out there and they think that's normal. So it could be a situation like that where like we get into it and become the best of friends, and that's how I operate type deal. Well, go you. It also asks you, how can you soften your heart and drop your defenses even to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? And that is good advice for problem solving and trying to avoid like miscommunications. Now, in your actual approach, I think this is like that fool card energy. You have jump in. And I love that this says Andromedan energy, adventure, and say yes to change. So some of you, there could be a yes coming, or the person that says fall into my arms that returns from the past or a past life. The approach to take to it is saying yes. I love the Andromedans. And if you want to do some research on the different like starseed energies that come up on the reading, feel free to do it. I personally resonate and reside from reincarnated through the Pleiades Starseed Collective, but the Andromedans are definitely the homies and are doing a lot of work on this planet. So shout out to them. And I know most of you have went through shifts and awakenings, and I think that the Andromedan energy had a lot to do with that, especially a year before and after like the pandemic. I knew that I read a lot about some different energies that we're gracing our beautiful, beautiful Earth. Now, jump in talks about a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It is believed that the Andromedon star seeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. So this could be the person or situation coming toward you. It could represent an aspect of you, but very adaptable. So being adaptable when you are approached by the situation, this is your approach. Okay. So being adaptable, it talks about strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos. So we got Aquarian energy, to swim with the tides, more Pisces energy. And it says that this card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Don't, it says take a deep breath, a good old run up. And see, that's what I feel like people be stalling. And I don't have time for that. I will block you. I don't have time for adults that act like teenagers. That is so weird. And even this beautiful card, right? Not my Piscean attitude or my bias. This card says don't stall until you feel ready, because that's so goofy. But I hear you. Anyway, life bends for the courageous. And I always say that. But I think sometimes it's like, if I say it, it's like, oh, there goes Moko, or there goes Montana. But it's true. Archangel Gabriel, Metatron, and a lot other of the archangels, where have you ever seen them pussyfooting and like patting somebody on the back? Like, what story? When Joseph got told that he was about to be a stepdad and it don't make sense, but tighten up and just go with the shit, did you hear them coddling Joseph? No, it was this shit is finna go down. Cheer up. When Mary got told she was finna have a baby, they didn't coddle her. Did nobody say, "Oh, I'll come back tomorrow if this." It was like, nah. The angel came into the night and said, "You are with child, motherfucker, and this is what's finna happen." And then the shit just hit the fan. No archangel or ascended master coddles anyone, but these fairies and these stories that people make up that make it seem like love and light and lavender sprinkles, like that's some other shit. That is not how the cosmos work. And life is a representation of that. Life is very real. It is very sweet. It is very like beautiful, but passive aggressive and cowardly, it is not. So that is just some news you can use, right? To just wake up, put your boots on today, and know that as a spiritual being, as a starseed, as an enlightened one, you are one of the most articulate, knowledgeable, intelligent beings on this planet. We are not just like holy rollers or hippies, right? We don't coddle. We're not passive aggressive. And we're just kind of matter of factly, some of us, okay? Because most of the angels are connected to Aquarian energy, and we're in the age of Aquarius. I don't remember one angel being a Pisces or a fire sign. So, well, okay. Well, no, because we do got the page. Okay, we got the page. Okay, yeah, we got some. Okay, I'll take that back, and we'll talk about that another time. But most of them have the energy of Aquarius, so that's the messenger, and this is the age of the messages. Okay, so receive them. Now, the Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing the waves of life. So it talks about just getting in there and having a great relationship with life itself. And I have said that, like, if things aren't going your way and you want to improve certain things, I did say that. I said I want a better relationship with money. I want a better relationship with life. I don't want to beef with life. I do not want to beef with money. So I want to like money, and not when people bring up money, it's some people that just get a nerve shot up their ass. It's just like, oh, I don't like that word because it means a bill is due, or it's because I don't have none, and so on and so forth. That means you have a horrible relationship with money. And abundance is about more than money, but we're on planet Earth in the third dimension. If you don't have money and you say you can still have abundance, somebody around you got some. Cause it ain't no way in hell you ain't got none, and ain't nobody around you ain't got none, and you abundant. So that's why I say get out of la la land with the fluff cake fairy shit and be real with yourself, and you can actually start making some changes to manifest the things that you like and or to get out of cycles that are kicking your ass, right? So anyway, jump in. Life bends for the courageous. That's what this says. And courageous is what you've been called to be. So know that. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory. And once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. So this is kind of like the call after the storm. Plus, it's telling you to jump in, kind of like the food card. So I absolutely love that. Your approach to take to it is to do it. Okay? Because look, you're thinking about doing something. You see how she's diving in. You're thinking about doing something, and the approach here says to go on and do it. So Pisces, I mean, how many times do you hear that and still not do shit? But I mean, maybe you'll start today, actually. So in the environment, you have star bathing, which is beautiful. It talks about light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. So in the environment, there's some sort of activation. And I feel that it has something to do with being in the midst of your tribe, because on the outcome, you have all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. So the situations are not really developing from something outside of you, possibly something within. And this is kind of like the labyrinth. I love the labyrinth, which is kind of like the maze. And we'll figure it out. It's like you'll figure it out. A few twists, a few turns. In your hopes and fears, you have the portal. And I love this because I actually did a guided meditation with this card that talks about doors are opening and you decide. It talks about rewards and a wild card. So it's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune anytime I see wild card. So for some of us in your hopes, there's a wild card. In your fears, there's a wild card. Either the doors are opening and that's what you're hoping for, or there's a fear that they won't. Now, some of us in your hopes, there's a decision, or in your fears, there's a decision. Your hopes for a reward is here. It's kind of like your boon card. So I absolutely love that. And for the star bathers, what is that on my, is it? Okay. For the star bathers, I don't want to skip over that too fast. It talks about the star seeds coming to Earth to help shift the planet vibrationally. So that has nothing to do with material gain. It has nothing to do with archangels and masters and messengers. It's just about my star seeds and how you being here is enough. How your energy, not all of you, but the ones of you that have very high vibrations and a strong connection to source and a very open crown chakra and a very high vibrational heart, and so on and so on and so forth. It's very specific, special ones, not low vibrational, sad ones that are trying to overcome reality or some shit like that. But the other star seeds are definitely shifting the planet vibrationally, which when I was talking about the Andromedans and the Pleiades, like the actual star seeds, it talks about ancient codes of wisdom that humanity may have forgotten. So you may notice synchronicities and codes. Also, it talks about information being stored in the crystal grid. And usually when this comes up, I love that a bunch of collective ideas come about. I have noticed that a lot of songs come out around the same time that may have similar messages, similar words, similar sounds. And you just made, I don't know, it's something that I've seen. I've seen it really heavy in music, like every 10 or so years, or it's just a thing. You have to have an eye for it. But it says if you pull this card, you may be being called to begin working with the stars and crystalline grid on Earth. So that's why you have Earth School. So some of you, it's like instead of worrying over physical matters, material matters, or karmic situations, you're being called to aid in a higher mission, like a higher purpose. And there could be a portal of opportunity that you're afraid of, okay, because it's coming up in your hopes and fears. But in the environment, it talks about the card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. And so the Page of Swords energy, or the Earth School, is like some of you may be experiencing things or having an inner knowing about something, but you still don't know why, right? It says it can also mean that your light body, the energy body in the highest form, is being activated. So if this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. This at the beginning of the reading, the situation, what was crossing it, and your focus also had that kind of vibe. Because in the past there's this cosmic heart, you are connected to something else, so going through this shift and this activation, it also says that, through this deep cellular healing, and also for some of you meditation, you could be aware of this. So this isn't something that is going to come and shock you. Some of you have already started the processes and are going through these things, and others of you, it could be something in the near future where your soulmate, your twin flame, your guide, or your handler is coming on this planet into this dimension through whatever means to connect with you. And I think that that's kind of cool. It should be interesting or whatever. Now, in your hopes and fears, you have the portal, and I only said handler because the way don't take me seriously, because the way she's sitting here waiting, and then this other dark shadow is like coming down on this cloud. I don't know. It just made me say that. So it's like whatever. So yeah, this portal here, which could be the opportunity, it could be the fear, connected to the earth school and watering your garden. So joining a collective to help yourself. We talk about that. I have tarot courses. A lot of people have master classes. For some of you, it just talks about your tribe in general without like doing something physical and practical. But portals of opportunity can come through reconnecting, uniting, and activating with your collective in some way, right? To not just do it yourself, or to be in hermit mode, introverted inside of the living room on your couch. So the portal talks about doors opening, and your thoughts are very powerful. Planets aligning, the universe saying yes, because I did say that there was a yes somewhere up here. It talks about you want your hard work to pay off and reaping the rewards for efforts that may have been made in the past, great distances being traveled, and it asks, what would you like to experience? What would you like to create? And what new adventures would you like to manifest? It tells you to not lose focus. When this card comes up in a spread, it's a sure sign that effortless change is possible, but it's coming up in your hopes and fears. So some of us hope to change effortlessly. Okay. The card said it was possible for you to not have to do anything and things just change. Yep, it's possible. It also says that if you've been looking for a sign, this is your portal into the new reality. So now it's the time to make big changes. Like it literally says that. If you were looking for a sign, I should put that on the thumbnail. If you are looking for a sign, it is here. Usually when I see the portal, that's like the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands could talk about hesitation and delays. So this is, I mean, I'm not surprised for a Pisces reading that we're talking about soul tribes and, fears and procrastinating, and stuff like that. But, want something. So it happens. But it says use this energy and jump right on in, and know that, where did you have jump right in at? What card said jump in? Y'all literally, oh yeah, look, what does that say? Doesn't that say jump in your approach to take to it? That is absolutely insane. What a coincidence. So the outcome and advice before I get blocked. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Excuse me, little lady. And she is like 2 pounds, I swear. 2 pounds. Okay. So all paths lead home. It's normal to Olivia. It's normal to look. It's normal to look to the external world for answers and guidance. Um, what's Okay, let me go real fast. You're being called, Jesus Lord. You're being called to source your guidance from within, okay? To study the terrain of your inner landscape, to develop a reliable relationship with your soul. So while in the near future you have karmic, oh my Jesus. In the near in the near future, you have karmic relationships, but in the outcome and or the advice, it talks about developing reliable relationships with your soul. So there could be a relationship that just helps you get closer to your own soul or at least see who you are. And that makes a lot of sense because sometimes I've seen people have ideas about who they are or what life is. But situations show you who you are. When you don't show up, when you can't keep your word, when you're afraid, when you're scared, when you need more time, when you're negligent, when you disappear and you ignore emails or you just have cowardice in your heart and lies in your throat, that's who you are. And karmic situations and or positions that we put ourselves in will show us that. Now, if there's a portal of opportunity for you to see that, is it going to be favorable? Yes. Are you going to like it? I don't know. But those of us that don't put ourselves in that position to have to see those things about ourselves, which means we're not in denial about those things, we don't experience those things. So those that have self-love, self-care, have dealt with the shadow and the light of ourselves and accepted it, you're less likely to go through a karmic relationship to highlight a part of you when you're aware of you. Okay, so get out of denial. That's how we do that, and stop procrastinating. All right. I do hope that it helps. Until next time.